Toy Story 3 was a perfect ending, so everyone expected Toy Story 4 to be nothing but a cash grab, but I'm happy to report that it totally isn't. First off, the animation in this movie is insane. I'm sure you noticed from the trailers. The lighting, the textures, the frickin' cobwebs, dust particles, skin pores, is the best mix of CG realism and cartooniness I've ever seen. Just some of the shot setups and things were amazing too. It's like now more than ever you're really watching these tiny toys explore a huge detailed world. I was blown away by the visuals just after the first 10 minutes. And the opening credits are super well done too. If you're a nerd for visuals, go see this movie just for that. Now for the story. You know from the trailers it's about Woody and pals reuniting with Bo Peep and trying to save their new custom-built friend Forky. But there's a lot more to it than that. This is really a movie that's all about Woody himself, and how he's dealing with the transition from Andy to Bonnie. He was the star of the show with Andy, but Bonnie doesn't quite care for him that much. He's going through an identity crisis, and as crazy as that sounds for a children's movie about living toys, it's super compelling. What makes it work so well is the subtlety to it. Woody never explicitly says what's troubling him, he just occasionally lets things slip out and it stabs at your heart. You can tell exactly what he's going through without it needing to be super obvious, and I really appreciated that. As much as I like that, I think they should have made it slightly more explicit, just because the climax takes away from the focus on Woody, so when it ends and it's about Woody again, it feels a little sudden. Since the movie is all about Woody, the other toys get super sidelined. Buzz is really the only one who goes around and has his own story arc, though it really isn't deep at all. There's a lot of focus on a lot of new characters they introduce, and like Buzz, they're not that deep, but they're super funny. This is probably the most comedic out of all the movies in the series so far. Yeah, what, are they gonna make a fifth one? I don't know. The villain character in this movie, Gabby Gabby, is amazing. She's so creepy, and she has a really strong story arc that made me really emotional. She's the boss of a bunch of creepy toys in an antique store, and it's such a cool setting. I love that they're not afraid to do unsettling stuff in these movies, because even Toy Story 3 had some damn creepy elements. Also, as you'll hear from everyone, this movie's really sad, especially if you're someone like me who's grown up closely with these movies. At first I wasn't too big on the ending, but I think that's just because of how sad it made me. And, well, maybe it was actually a little rushed. But as I mentioned before, it has a lot of subtlety to it that makes it work really well. It's all mostly visual storytelling and it breaks your heart with few words. I was so impressed by the storytelling ability of this movie. And just as a side note, I found this movie as a whole really similar to Finding Dory. It takes a pre-established cast of characters, puts focus on one of them going on an emotional journey, there's a bunch of new characters, and they're thrown into a super unique set piece. Also, the climax was like almost the same exact thing, but I won't spoil that. So for whatever reason you weren't going to see this, please see it. It takes a cast you might know and love, and puts them on a new exciting and emotional adventure. It made me choke up, laugh, and smile. If you don't buy into the story, it's still full of great comedy and amazing visuals. And similar to the other films in the series, there's so much good in it that it's worth studying. I didn't recognize a lot of the names in the credits, so that's super impressive if they mostly had artists who didn't work on previous films. It's awesome to think that maybe the people who worked on this movie grew up with the other ones, and they were able to make this one a masterpiece that fits right in. And speaking of credits, there are a few really funny post-credit scenes. I hope you check it out if you're interested. If you like this video of mine, please feel free to hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications to know when I post a new video. Also consider supporting me on Patreon. Thanks for watching, and super special thanks to my Patreon supporters.